Salutations, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I'm Grega. While I will always be a fan of Star Wars under George Lucas, prequels included, Disney's Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy, all that shit can be consigned to the dustbin of history as far as I'm concerned. Well, actually, that's not entirely true because Disney's Star Wars is a good source of fun in one way, as fodder for mockery. Withering, merciless mockery. You see, while the affront to Star Wars that was Roundhead Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi bastardized the character of Luke Skywalker and genuinely broke my heart as well as my enthusiasm for any future Star Wars installments, that was 6 years ago. I was heartbroken about it back then, and that eventually lapsed into me being apathetic about Star Wars, but I have since come out the other side, and now I find Disney's Star Wars' perpetual failure to be so risible that it's entertaining. When I made my video about the shitty ACOLYTE trailer a few weeks back, some smooth brain in my comment section said something to the effect of, "Why are you consuming Star Wars just to complain about it? Why don't you just stop watching?" Not on your life, pal. Making fun of Disney Lucasfilm's constant face planting, number one, is very fun, and two, it must be done because they fucking deserve it. The radical leftist woke activists that have infested Disney and Lucasfilm have time and time again demonstrated their willingness to turn the escapism of Star Wars, and more recently Indiana Jones, into one big virtue signal for their identity politics. Since they are happy to ruin the things that we love just because they have a political axe to grind, they deserve to be mocked like the clowns that they are when those actions lead to failure. You know, failure like the trailer for your new project getting ratioed into oblivion, or your movie bombing so hard that you lose $130 million. Sight unseen, I know Lucasfilm's next show, The ACOLYTE, is going to be a dumpster fire and a half. Since I'm completely over my heartbreak at Star Wars' destruction, and I've made it through that stage of apathy, when The ACOLYTE comes out, I am simply gonna kick back, point my finger, and cackle like a fucking hyena at its weapons grade incompetence. On this channel, I've mentioned the Kathleen Kennedy episode of South Park many times, and I will do it again because that episode proves the effectiveness of mockery.
Put a chicken in and make her name it gay!
Its mockery of Kathleen Kennedy brought the beshitted state of Lucasfilm and more broadly Disney to a far greater public than before. Now, I am not saying that clowning on Lucasfilm and Disney is going to turn these companies around overnight, but it is important long term. A few days ago, Disney CEO Bob Iger won his proxy battle against his adversary Nelson Peltz, who was trying to get a seat on the Disney board in order to have transparency on why the current board members have failed again and again to hold Bob Iger accountable for his many failures. But the good news is that Disney's stock price dipped right after it was announced that Nelson Peltz had lost the proxy fight. So clearly, Disney shareholders don't actually have confidence in Mr. Iger, and in all probability, Nelson Peltz is going to buy more Disney stock and be back in the future. In the meantime, Disney and its subsidiaries will not be turning the ship around with Bob Iger in charge. It just isn't going to happen, so they're just going to be churning out more and more fodder for people like me to make fun of, so huzzah! These may be corporations with fuck you quantities of money, but even for them, this perpetual cycle of agenda pushing, failed projects, and public ridicule, it can't last forever. Eventually, whether it's a high profile ousting or what's more likely just quietly stepping away with a legacy of failure, either way, the likes of Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy are going to reap what they've sown. And until that day comes, the name of the game is just mock, and mock some more. Gosh, I cannot wait for the ACOLYTE to come out.